Yeah, one thing too that I have sort of started to understand, I suppose, about how some people have thought about my being a victim of voyeurism is I'm kind of only able to kind of process the whole thing in stages. It's so awful. It really is just so awful. That I really am only, there's only kind of only so much I can deal with. Really there is. Like mentally I can barely even deal with it. A large amount of time. And so it's kind of sort of this process of like years of just being able to kind of like take a part of it and process that, and then really can't deal with any of it, and then take another part of it and process that. And it's kind of only been recently that I've thought something that I suppose that other people have been thinking all along, and blaming me for, and thinking that I'm being very disingenuous about it. I haven't thought of them. I haven't thought of the product of that. Like, haven't thought of the product of all that voyeurism as being something that anyone would think of as like a way to get people to be attracted to me. I haven't really thought of it that way. It's the world is very different than it was when I was growing up. And when I was in my teens and my 20s, you didn't take pictures. You didn't take pictures of yourself in your underwear and put them on the internet and hope that it would make people want to date you. You just it would be like that would be considered a very strange thing to do, and it would have the opposite effect of what you would want. You would not get the kind of response that you want. And now it seems like it's considered to be, at least among, sort of some of the younger folk apparently in the entertainment industry, there's things that we do, and I do. So I hadn't really thought. And of course, what's happened to me is way beyond that. I found it to be everything about it. I've said it. I've said how I feel about it. But no, I haven't really thought of them as a. And it's probably one of the first things that other people have thought of. People who have no empathy and don't care about how I feel about it, and are used to thinking of women as objects, and are used to thinking of women as, thinking as abuse of women, thinking of abuse of women as being normal, instead of, just this really outrageous behavior. I think there's probably been a lot of it, I think my first thought about this is, oh my God, I've been so invaded, I've been so disrespected, this is like a sexual assault, how could you do this to me? And that's how I feel about it, that's how I felt about it the entire time, to the point where I couldn't even function. The entire year I was living in my apartment, I was just trying to literally just trying really to the extent even more than I am now, try to get through from one day to the next, so just incapacitated by how horrible it is. And so I have not tended to think about them that way, but of course it seems that conglomerate would like to portray them, and would like to portray me as someone who doesn't really mind, and is enjoying the attention. And it's the last thing, literally the last thing in the world that I would ever think of in terms of trying to get somebody to be interested in me. So, and I've only recently begun to think about the actual experience that other people have when they watch them, how they feel about it or whatever it is. The idea that pictures of me that I never agreed to are masturbation material for other people is it's just horrifying. It's so horrifying. So no, I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way about it at all. And I think the way that I would feel about it, if I were to actually spend time with someone, because I've never seen them. I've never seen these videos. I finally every once in a while I would look for them, but mostly I just feel it's the more time that I have without actually visually seeing them, actually being confronted with the reality of them, is probably better for me emotionally. I don't think I could deal with it. And I think if I were to actually spend time with someone who was part of this and who isn't taking it seriously the way that I feel about it, and they were, to actually sit there with someone who knew about it when it was happening and never tried to warn me and never tried to stop it and doesn't care how I feel about it, and have them sit with me and be like, well, don't you think it's hot? I would just be looking at them wow, I just can't believe you let this happen to me. Why did you let this happen to me? That's how I feel about it.